Starting a business is complicated. You need like 20 different softwares, you need a website, you need an email list, you need a payment processor, and it quickly gets expensive and just outright messy and time-consuming, and it makes people quit before their business actually takes off, which I think is very sad to see. GoHighLevel is an all-in-one solution that tries to solve this problem by giving you basically everything you need to run an online business, an online agency, etc. Or so they say. I'm gonna go through their key features, how it works, and see if anything's missing, because starting a business is hard enough. You don't need more BS to deal with. I'll handle it for you. So let's start by talking about the basic features. Things you're probably gonna use, so it's good to know up front. And you might realize, oh, this is actually what I need for my business, this is what I've been missing, so listen up. The first thing is a CRM, where you basically store your customers and your leads and you keep track of everything in your business and your relationship to these different customers that you have in your business. Have you sent them an email? Should you send them an email? Should you reach out, contact them again? And it kind of shows the communication history between the different leads and the people in the business. It's extremely important if you're running a sales team or a more complicated business, but even if you're like a small business owner running an online store or selling something online, you should track their customers or your customers. If they just signed up, if you contacted them, if they're interested, or if you've already sold them something, that's how you sell better, by knowing where people are in the kind of chain and who you should focus on and what to do. Because if you don't know what to do in the business, it's hard to improve it. There's also something called email marketing, where you can send the actual emails themselves and even automate the follow-ups via email. But everybody has a phone, and that's also a great way to reach customers. Now, if you have your phone number, GoHighLevel also lets you send automated or manual text messages to these phone numbers. Now, of course, I hate getting spam messages, so make sure you've collected it with their approval first when you're going to be sending them emails or messages, but that's an obvious thing. Now, if you do calls, for example, sales calls or something like that, and you talk to people on the phone, you can also track these in GoHighLevel and even record the calls to analyze them after, so you can keep improving and selling better on the phone, which is also a great thing. And there's also a feature called appointment booking, which you can kind of just use to book appointments. So you can schedule meetings and let people book themselves in when you have some free time. And finally, before we get to the next section, there's a website and a funnel builder, so you can create all these things inside of GoHighLevel, and you don't need another software for it. And those are basically the basic features. Now let's talk about the good stuff, things that can take your business from zero to successful if you implement them correctly. So first up, we have something called white labeling, and it's one of the biggest features of GoHighLevel, and it's really simple, but nobody talks about this. And it just means that you can rebrand GoHighLevel's software and sell it as your own. Now, this is going to sound extremely confusing. It took me a while to understand it at first too. But your first question is going to be, why would I take their software and rebrand it and sell it as my own? Think about it like this. You're renting the technology from GoHighLevel, like renting an apartment, but you're free to also rent out individual rooms of the apartment, or beds, I should say, in the apartment yourself, and charge money for it. So you don't own the apartment, but you're renting it, and you can rent out another kind of form of GoHighLevel to other people. Now, this is not going to be relevant for beginners. It's more of a thing that, for example, marketing agencies do. Like when they have a lot of customers, they can give some of their clients access to a specific part of GoHighLevel, like let's say analytics, and then they can, charge money for that, or the website builder or something like that. And it makes it really easy, and it looks like your own custom software that you're selling. So you can also create your own pricing plans, you can charge monthly subscriptions, you can create all sorts of different packages. But it's a great way. When you're starting out, you're going to be just overwhelmed if you're thinking, how can I build a business with this? It's really for agencies that are already up and running and selling something. But if you do this, you can basically build a reoccurring revenue from kind of a SaaS product on a GoHighLevel, on GoHighLevel itself, and you don't need to build it. Now let's move on to something easier, and that's going to be integrating channels. So you can basically integrate anything into GoHighLevel, and you have all these, messaging channels like SMS, email, Messenger, Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever, phone calls. There's just so many things you can do. And you can manage all of these inside the communication channels right inside of GoHighLevel, which makes running a business much easier. Now, if you're just getting started, you don't need all these different channels. I recommend just starting with like email marketing or slowly introducing SMS or other social media. You don't want to get overwhelmed. And one of the good things with GoHighLevel is they have so many features and so many things, but that can also be a downside if you're just trying to do everything all at once, because it's built both for small and very large agencies and companies. So you don't need to use all the features. That's not the thing. Next is going to be the Conversations tab, which is kind of like your inbox in HighLevel. And that's where all the messages from all your communication channels go to. So if you're getting a message from Instagram, you're getting a DM somewhere there, something from Snapchat, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever you're doing, everything's going to be kind of centered in this one place, making it very easy to reply. It's also good for your attention span, as you don't need to open Instagram all the time to talk to customers. You don't need to open all the social media. Everything's kind of just integrated into HighLevel right there, so you can respond, you can, run your business without accessing all these different platforms. Now, let's talk about the opportunities and the pipeline section. So basically, a big challenge in business is knowing where a customer is. And we already talked a little bit about this, but are they ready to buy something, or should you reach out again? And what stage are they currently in? And that's why HighLevel has this clear sales pipeline that visually shows where each lead is in the sales process. So you can also manually move people between these and track the progress. And my favorite part is you can see where people drop off and also issues in your business, which are often hidden if you're not tracking this into the clear CRM system. So you're going to be able to identify bottlenecks and things where you're essentially losing money and losing business by just putting this out in the opportunities tab. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit. Next up is going to be the workflow section. Now, doing things manually is hard, and in the business you want to automate as much as possible to save time, money, and just be on top of your game and spend your time and your money doing the things that you like and that actually make you the most money. So HighLevel lets you pretty much automate anything. Now, of course, you can't automate maybe your fulfillment in HighLevel, that's a different thing, but you can automate email sequences, follow-ups, reminders, and create fully customized workflows based on triggers, which means that you can use automatic sequences and AI to basically nurture potential clients and, personalize their experience, send them messages, reach out, without doing it manually. I use the workflows for my own email automation systems. So when somebody signs up for, let's say, a free resource or my training or something, I send them that resource automatically, and that would be a pain in the ass to send them automatic or manually, and it's great to send them automatically. But you could take it so much further than I have. I just keep it really simple, but you could have them fill out a form. You could, depending on the questions and how they answer it, you could send them something specific. You could just make a lot of cool automations right in HighLevel. And you could technically automate the hell out of your business if you want to. You can do as much as you want. Now let's talk about sites. GoHighLevel includes a very good website builder where you can create fully functioning websites with no coding skills whatsoever, and you can add all the features that you could possibly dream about. And it's really easy to add them as well, which is definitely a key thing, because you don't want to have to be a developer to build all these things. And back in the old days, that's how it was. And you can use the standard drag and drop editor, as you're probably familiar with. And there's also a ton of other templates and things you can use for free or download on the internet to use in HighLevel. And of course, it's optimized for mobile and desktop, but you would expect that in 2026 already, so yeah. And there's also a lot of tracking and analytics stuff, which we'll talk about. But the good thing here is it literally replaces a website builder, and you don't need to pay for another hosting or another software or developer, which can be hundreds, if not more, per year. And you're getting that for free right in HighLevel with the same thing. So it's pretty efficient. You can also create landing pages, which are basically website pages for a specific goal. It's kind of like when you don't want to build a whole website, but you want to collect emails, you want to book appointments, you want to have some basic info, maybe sell something. You can create these right in HighLevel with a lot of templates, just like the website, but it's kind of like one page. And you can connect all these sites and all the pages to all the CRMs and all the other tools, and even tools outside of HighLevel, like let's say a webinar software or some Calendly booking or whatever you want to do. And that's really how you build this whole ecosystem, which is so powerful when everything works together in your business. Now, if you're like me and you like to sell trainings and teach people things and coach them, or you're thinking of launching a membership or something, that's super popular, like with the school communities and all those things. For example, Schoolden, which is often used for people creating communities and groups, which cost, I think, about $97 per month, which is quite a lot per year for building a community. And you can actually build communities completely for free inside of HighLevel, which you're getting the website, the community, the CRMs, the automations, the email, the website, everything all at once. So if you're launching like a coaching program, a free or paid community, or you're selling a fine dropshipping course, you can do all of it. And you can kind of build out a members area where people can log in after purchase, they can watch videos, access trainings and premium content. And it's kind of like a course platform coaching, whatever you want to call it, which means you can sell, you can do all the marketing, you can provide the service or the course without even leaving HighLevel, just using that one software. And then we have something called reputation management, which is really interesting, right? So People don't usually think about this in the beginning, but as your business grows, which I hope it does, that's the goal, reputation and reviews become more and more important. If my video right now had 1 billion dislikes, which you used to be able to see on YouTube, but I think they removed that feature, you probably wouldn't watch it, right? If everybody dislikes it. And it's the same for customers. So GoHighLevel has a neat feature which can ask customers to leave reviews on Google or Trustpilot or other platforms automatically. So you can also track these ratings, track the reviews, manage them, feedback, and do this all extremely efficiently in one workflow. And then one of my favorite parts is I have a background in data analytics, and I know the importance of a good, high quality, data set and data to win in business. And the people that have good data and analytics can understand and make the best decisions and win. Now, GoHighLevel has a complete reporting and analytics suite, letting you track leads, performance, conversion rates, revenue, overall how your business is doing, if there's something you should fix, all in one kind of solution. And that's really key because if you're running a business, you want to know what marketing is working. Should I spend more on ads? Should I do more organic? What should I do? Where clients are coming from? How much money you're actually making? And that's a good thing. And how much money you're spending and where your business is doing good and where it's struggling. So trying to run a business without proper data is like driving blindfolded. It's a very bad idea, unless you have like an automatic Tesla that can just drive for you, but still a pretty bad idea. Now guys, I want to hear what you think about GoHighLevel in the comments below. And if you like something, if you don't like it, we're open for discussion here on the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.